Hey YouTube, so I have the mount all finished up for the kayak. I've taken it apart to show you what it all looks like now. It consists of all aluminum or metal except for the block here where the trolling motor mounts to. This is a 1.5 inch aluminum square dowel. You can get that at Home Depot. I think I got it for around $17 or something like that for a really huge piece. I had originally used regular wood for that piece. It's heavier than the aluminum, and I thought that once this thing gets wet, even if you paint it or whatever, stain it, I think these screw holes are starting to get loose. So I saw in another video that someone else had used aluminum like this. That was a great idea. So when I was over at Home Depot to get some more bolts, I saw it over there and grabbed that. So I've now replaced this wood piece with all aluminum. Plus it's lighter and it's stronger. So I'm pretty happy with that. It's more expensive, but I think it's worth it. So I cut an 8-inch section of that, and it has 4 holes drilled in it. 4 holes drilled in the kayak. These are 4-inch L-shaped braces. You can use whatever you want for that, either just the straight ones. I used the L-shaped ones, thought they worked really well. There's already 2 holes there. So this goes, I've already got that mounted, so I really don't feel like taking that out. But anyway, these are mounted with bolts, and underneath are 2 compression washers with the plastic inside of them. So those are mostly tightened. I loosened them just so I can put this back on here to show you what it looks like. So anyway, those line up like that. And then the mounting plate, or the mounting bracket, this whole thing goes here. It all lines up, and it's secured on with bolts. The bolts I used, these are 3.5 inch, 1/4 inch bolts. If you can find them, get the ones that are smooth like this on the front, on the top of it, because you only need the bottom thread, and it'll make it easier getting this in and out of there. I only found 2 of these. These are 3 inch. 3 inch works fine, by the way. I had originally gotten 3.5, and I've been using those, but I've since got a couple of these. I only found 2 of these at Home Depot, so I got to go to Lowe's or somewhere else to see if I can find 2 more. But these are 3 inch, 1/4 inch bolts, and they're secured from the bottom going up to the top, and then with a washer and a wing nut. So those come up from the top like that to the bottom. Now on the bottom of the kayak, what I did not want to do is have the washer and the bolt digging into the bottom of this plastic. I think as you really tighten it down, it's going to start compressing the plastic and digging into it. So what I did is, what it is I bought this is a mending plate, 8-inch zinc-plated mending plate. It is really super strong. And I just drilled 4 holes into it. It already had some holes, but I drilled 4 more where I needed them. And so this goes down on the bottom of the kayak, and it's going to help keep the plastic in place so it doesn't get dug into by the little washers. So anyway, that goes underneath, and it just hooks up underneath like that. So the bolts come through it like this, like that underneath, and you go under and put everything through, and it comes up under through there, if you can imagine that. And then this goes on top of the bolts, and you secure it down with the wing nuts. So the reason I did it like this is I didn't want, most people use their rod holders, these 2 rod holders here. So most people, they'll put a dowel or some kind of aluminum rod through here, and then with a plank going across it. That's how they'll connect their trolling motor. I didn't want to use that mainly because I actually wanted to use these. I wanted to use these rod holders for my fishing poles when I go out. So that's why I put my mount down here. If it's okay and you don't want to use those, by all means, there's other videos that show you how to use these with making the mount. So I've already put this all together, and I took it out of the water yesterday, and it worked exceedingly well. I was very surprised. It's extremely sturdy. The only problem with mine is I used this 46-pound Go Plus trolling motor, and as you can see, I mean, it's huge. It's a 36-inch shaft. Oh, sorry, 46-pound trolling motor. It's really, really heavy. This thing's like 20 pounds, I think. And it's also really tall with 36 inches. So when you secure this on here, the trolling motor goes like way up here. So you're trying to move it with your hand. You'll see in my video on how high my arms have to go up just to control this thing. It's definitely too big for this kayak. It's got a lot of power, but it's just too big for the kayak. So I'm actually buying a 30-pound thrust motor, one that's much, much lighter, probably about half the weight of this thing almost. And I'm going to get a 30-inch shaft, and I'll probably even shorten that too. I've seen some videos on YouTube on how to shorten this shaft right here. I actually bought this one for my Intex Excursion 5. So that's why I bought this bigger, more powerful one. But I wanted to see if it would mount to the kayak. So I'll be getting a 30-pound thrust motor that's much lighter, that'll work a little bit better, I think, with this. And plus, the pound thrust on a 46 is kind of overkill for this kayak. So, anyway. Alright, I'm going to put this together and show you what it looks like all put together. So all 4 bolts go into the mending plate, and this is the hard part, is putting them all in the first time. I'll probably have to remove some of these to get it in. I think I'll put the middle, the outer ones I get in first. See how that works. It really helped if you had 2 people for this part. So I have the 4 bolts in, and I'm going to put the top piece on now. Okay. Goes on like that. Now you can either use 4 washers up here, or you can put another mending plate on top of this. Like this. Get another mending plate, drill 4 more holes in it, sink it on top. I had that for the wood piece that I did, but I'm not quite sure it's needed. I think the washers will be fine directly on top of the aluminum block. If it does start digging into the aluminum, then I'll put the plate back on. Or if I think maybe it needs to be a little bit more secure, I don't know. I'll add that block. Alright, so now for these, you just put the wing nuts on. And I could probably use, as you can see, a smaller bolt here. I'm not sure I have any of the lower size. I'll have to look. That's going to be too small, I think. Anyway, you can use a smaller bolt if you can find it. Looks like about a ½ an inch smaller would be fine. And one more here. Tighten that down. Both sides really good. All right, that's it. Put the wires out of the way. I'll move this to respectable depth. As you can see, this is a very big... Push the camera around so you can see the trolling motor now that it's mounted on here. And you can see the whole kayak is listing a little bit. Maybe you can, I don't know. When it's in the water, I'm sure it's going to be okay, but this thing is so heavy out here, supporting the entire weight of this, that it's pulling the whole thing to the side. Let me see if you can see. Can you see the... Oh, a little bit. It's very secure on here, but you can see the plastic moving just a little bit up and down there. But again, it's secure pretty good. For a 30-pound trolling motor, a much lighter trolling motor is going to be perfect. For this one, it does put a little bit of stress on the hull. Once it's in the water, I think it'll be okay, but I'll be getting my lighter trolling motor on this thing. So that's it. Again, I'll probably put a little bit shorter screws on here, but I like it so far. I will be taking this out in the water soon, and we will see how it goes. Again, if need be, I'll put another bolt down here, but I'm not sure if it's going to be needed. You can see it. Can you see that bend right there? Yeah, that thing's just really heavy. That trolling motor weighs like 20 pounds. Anyway, that's the brace, and now to get it on the water.